Do you see this?
Do I see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what it is?
No.
No? Do you see this?
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
That's sort of like a surfboard.
Do you know what this is right here?
Do you know what this is?
This board?
Yep. What's it called? Surfboard?
It's bodyboard, I think. Boogie board, whatever they call them.
I think that's one of those boogie boards.
A boogie board?
That's a boogie board.
It's called skimboarding, damn it!
Alright, I'm sick of people not knowing what skimboarding is.
It's just as difficult as any other board sport, like surfing or skateboarding. We have our own magazines, our own shops, even our own professional skimboarders.
So for those of you who think sandboarding is a poser sport, this video is for you.
Welcome to Siesta Key, the world's finest white sand beach. I'm Scoot, lifeguard today. Surf report, flat as a pancake. Hang loose.
What do you like about skimboarding?
Pain and suffering.
Pain and suffering, yeah, I know, I got it.
I get to run really fast.
It's awesome.
Why is it awesome?
And it's too hot outside to do anything else.
The thing I like about it is because the good thing about skateboarding, it's like a mix between skateboarding and surfing.
Yeah.
And you kind of get the best of both worlds in it. Because it's something I'm really good at and I enjoy riding the waves.
Nice. What kind of skimboard do you have?
Mine's a Rusted Fly. This is 23 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of the first skimboards I made.
Awesome.
And then I got this one.
What does it say?
It says it's my name. Right.
Mom and Dad, they quite don't understand it. All the kids, they laugh as if they planned it. Why do girls wanna pierce their nose and walk around in torn patios? Oh yeah!
Now the best part about skimboarding is your battle wounds.
Oh yeah, check this out. This is a scar.
Pressure! Pressure! Pressure!
Picture that.
Oh my goodness.
I broke my pinky finger and it won't go straight in
I
there.
broke 3 of my toes at once.
This kind of hurts.
How'd you do that?
I fell.
Pop it back in, that's not right.
Did you ever get seriously hurt?
Yeah, I went to the hospital a few times.
Really?
The doctor said I was about 2 inches from breaking my neck.
Dang.
What ended up happening, I hit my head and my neck just rolled like this forward and I actually dislocated 3 vertebrae.
Dumped on top of my shoulder one year, like completely upside down on probably an 8-foot wave, and it was just like wet sand. There was no water, and I thought for sure I broke my neck because I slammed and I heard like all of my vertebrae kind of compact and make that noise in your head, thinking, yeah, I'm dead, and then just kind of got pummeled over, and that was kind of like.
Well, it's when I fell on my back, and it didn't really look that bad. Like it wasn't cut or anything, but I twisted my back and it just like it felt like it was exploding inside. It was kind of creepy.
I busted my tailbone real bad, and that was probably a bad one. Crawled all the way home from that one, and I was out of commission for a little while. And,
The North Jetty of Nokomis Beach, one of the hottest skimboarding spots on the west coast.
I'm Ben. I'm a lifeguard here at Nokomis, North Jetty. When the waves are good, there are a lot of skimboarders that come down here. I skimboard too, actually, and this is one of the better spots in the area.
No, a couple of my friends are doing it, and then like I started out with like a little wave zone board, and then my friends, I met some kids just from skimming, and then we just started hanging out, and now I have some really good friends from it, and we go out like all the time.
Why do you think that people know what surfing is or skateboarding is, but they don't know about skimboarding?
Because it's not really all that big. Like even all the pro skimmers that we have today, most of them have second jobs and stuff like that. It's not really that big of a sport unless you know about it.
My name's Larry O'Toole, and I'm one of the owners of Wind Flag Surf Shop, located down here in Nokomis, Florida.
Can you tell us a little bit about skimboarding? How is it getting more recognized lately?
Skimboarding is really starting to take off as a popular, somewhat extreme sport. The notoriety it's getting both on the west coast of the country as well as down here in Florida, it is starting to take off, yes.
In your store, do you sell more skimboarding things, or is it more to tourists, or what sort of a business do you do?
The majority of my product is sold to locals, and it is a lot of skimboarding type materials, because with the skimboards as opposed to the surfboards, you can skim when it's flat, when the water's flat, as opposed to requiring waves to go out and surf. So I sell a lot of skimboarding stuff. I do sell quite a bit of surfing stuff, but the majority of my stuff is to the locals, and it is skimboarding. Skimboarding is a fairly new phenomenon that's really being pushed by Glass Pro and the folks over at Zap. They're being very innovative.
What makes a skimboarder mad, or what makes you mad as a skimboarder?
Can you repeat that again?
What would make you angry when you're skimming?
People who skim in front of me, that sort of cut me off. Really good skimmers, they try to show off sometimes, and they sometimes run in front of you when you're about to go, and you miss that one wave that's actually good, so that sometimes makes me mad. And tourists who walk on the beach, I know they don't mean anything, but it's kind of annoying when they walk right in front of you. Like, they could always walk behind you, or just, you know, stay out of our way sometimes.
People, you got the whole beach.
Kids and tourists that don't pay attention, and people who are just rude about it. Because we'll be skimming down there, like our public beach is normally a decent beach, but normally we get a lot of kids and parents out there, and then we go in between them and stuff, but we're real careful, but they don't think we are. So they just get angry at us just for getting close to their kids. We've been threatened a couple times. So.
Too many little kids in the way or old people getting in the way, definitely.
For me, it's usually when I'm skimming around my local beach and there's some outsiders or non-locals that come around and they might not be quite so good. They don't really know what they're doing, and they run in front of you and fall right in front of you, and you're like kind of getting in the way a little bit, I guess, but maybe that will agitate the average skimboarder, I guess.
My number one skimboarding pet peeve is when you're skimboarding at a spot and you've been there for a little while, and people, like a family or something, will come down the beach, and there could be miles of open beach, but they put all their stuff down, like right where you're standing, and then they put their kids in the water, like right where the waves are coming in. And I swear to God, I don't care where you go in the world, because it's happened to me all over, that'll happen to you, and that pisses me off more than anything, because I'm looking at the parents going, you know, thinking, are you guys stupid? There's like a big board flying all over the air, and your kids are playing right there, and you know, I don't want to hurt anybody, but you know, sometimes I get a little stubborn and refuse to move, you know, and probably have come close to clipping a few little kids, but that's my number one thing that gets me mad.
It seems like common knowledge, like between skimboarders, like you know that you need space to skimboard, so you shouldn't like come and walk right in front of the other skimboarders or skim right in front of them or cut them off or whatever, like, and like cramp in on their space and stuff like that when there's like a whole beach and stuff.
Glass Pro, where nearly 200 skimboards are created each day.
My name is Zach Smets. I work here at Zap Skimboards. It's my father's business. Been born and raised. I'm from here, Florida, Venice, and this is my life pretty much, skimboarding.
So was there a time when you started skimboarding, or because your dad?
I can remember when I was a little kid, always messing around with it, but probably I could narrow it down to like 6 or 7 maybe when I started, but it's really been like a lifetime thing for me.
So tell us about what you're doing when you go to Portugal and the competitions you go to.
We are going over to Portugal for a contest. It's the first weekend we're going to be there, and it's the first contest they're having there. It's the Open. It's an open division, and they pretty much want us to go, Americans, to go over there and compete against Portugal guys to see what they have against us or whatever. More or less at the business too, business trip. We're going to go over there and set up more counts and do promotional stuff and try and get our boards pumped up more over there.
So here, this is the only place where Zap skimboards are made?
Yes, this is the only factory.
And how long has it been here?
This factory's been here for about 7 years. We originated back on Warfield Avenue in Venice, and I think since like 87, 83, I'm looking at the wall over there. But
have you noticed that skimboarding is getting more popular lately?
actually, yeah, it's pretty crazy. The last few years have really gotten a lot more recognition. The media and everything's getting more involved. I don't know if you guys ever watch Laguna Beach or anything. Everybody watches that. There's skimboarding, gets a little exposure there. And there's a lot more photographers and everything coming into it, putting their effort into the whole spiel, you know.
Why do you like skimboarding?
Well, I guess I like it because it's what my dad kind of started doing, and I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it as I did it. There's something about skimming and hanging out with your buddies on the beach and riding some really fun waves and traveling around if you can get that opportunity. So it's just a really fun thing.
My name is Steve Boomhauer. I do a little bit of everything around here. I shape the foam for the high-end boards. I laminate them. I do a little bit of ding repair. Kind of a lot of stuff really around here. I've been skimboarding for about 18 years probably. I've been with Zap for 12 years, I think. I've been skimboarding professionally for about 7 or 8 years.
Zap sponsors you?
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about like where you go and the competitions that you go in and things like that?
Yeah, well, I've been all up and down the East Coast of the United States. Mostly like North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, where we have a lot of our contests at on the east side. All over Florida has contests. California, all up and down California. Mexico, we go to Cabo San Lucas like once or twice a year. There's a few big contests down there. We've gone to Japan twice for promotional touring and contests there, and leaving for Portugal in 2 days for a big contest and like a lot of promotional stuff there.
So just tell us why you like skimboarding and why you first got into it.
I actually hated it when I first did it. My mom drugged me to the beach all the time when I was little, and I hated the beach. And my grandma actually got me a skimboard from a yard sale and gave it to me one day, and the thing was so warped the wrong way that I had to use it upside down and like wax the bottom of it, and I really didn't like it for a little while. I just kind of tossed it off to the side and sat on the beach and pouted because I didn't want to be there. But then one day at Casperson's, I saw like an older guy come down the beach with like a bigger board, and I just sat there and watched him and saw him like slide out to waves, and he was just doing like backflips and stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh, you can do that stuff on a board? So that's when I really got interested in it and started doing it, and I kind of just took a hold of me from there. Kind of consumed my life up until right now still.
I am Mark Stewart, and let's see, I pretty much sand like the high-end boards, and then I kind of do backup work for pretty much everything. Like I run boards sometimes, and I do build the comp sometimes, and sometimes, what else do I do? Pack. Pretty much anything that needs to be done that somebody else isn't doing, I'll do it. I've been working here for, let's see, only about 8 months this time, but before that I worked here since I was 15. Ain't that about right, Karen? 15? Yeah, I worked here through high school, then moved out to California, and I worked for Channon Surfboards. And for them, I pretty much just installed fin boxes and started training to be a laminator for surfboards, and that was really cool. So I've been making surfboards for my friends and just for a few surf shops around here since I was about 17. I started skimboarding when I was probably 13 or 14, and I originally wanted to surf because I saw guys surfing and stuff and didn't have a surfboard, so I made a little wood skimboard, started skimming on that, and then my dad found Zap, so I started working here and got a Zap board, and started skimming on my Zap board, and then just slowly just started skimming more and more and more, and then started going to contests with all the guys from here, traveling with them. And I met Steve, who I think you guys already interviewed, and he is kind of like my main role model or whatever with skimming, so I just always skimmed with him and learned from him and skimmed. I think skimboarders are a little more like edgy, like a little more, I don't know what you call it, just a little more progressive, or I don't know, more punk rock or something, I don't know.
And yeah, girls skimboard too.
I just really enjoy the rush of skimboarding and running fast and sliding on the sand and everything.
Why do you think we see so few girl skimboarders?
I don't know, it seems like all the girls, it just seems like they're not interested in it. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like sometimes we see girls trying skimboarding, like if their brother or their friend has a skimboard, then you can see them like just trying it like a few times, and they always mess up, and they just don't really care that much to get into it like we have. But I don't really know why exactly, because I mean it's great and it's fun for girls. It's not like hard. It's not like only boys can do it. Duh.
Skimboarding, do you meet any boys?
Meet boys? Oh yeah.
There are more and more girls getting into it, and there's a few that are actually really stepping it up a lot, and they're starting to rip and make a good impression on all of us guys. It's pretty cool to see girls charging hard and getting barreled and all that, so that's a good thing.
My favorite thing to do is a headstand. I do a headstand on my board, and when I was first learning how to do it, it was like really hard, and like I would go and I'd try and do it, and then I'd fall over and I'd get all cut up and stuff. But now I can do it pretty consistently, and I can stay up for a little while and stuff like that. But it's like, it's hard because I fall every time, because there's no really way to do it without falling, or a way that I found yet. So like when I do it, then I just like fall over at the end.
You can do it pretty much any day you want. You just go to the beach and you can just skim all day if you want, or a couple hours. Ow! A real inspiration for me is my sister, and she always encourages me.
You look really goofy when you fall. Like, it's okay because boys think it's funny when they look goofy, but when girls fall, it's really embarrassing. Like, your top falls off. And it seems like every time I fall, a group of teenage boys is walking by, so you like tumble and your legs are above your head.
I mean, you have to be pretty gutsy to skimboard, I'm going to be honest, because I mean, you're running basically full speed, jumping onto this thing and hoping that you don't slide out from under your feet and bust your ass, but a lot of times that happens. It's happened to me before. So I guess just because the girls just don't find me, they a lot of times would rather be at the mall or doing something else, and that's just from my personal experience with girls in this area.
We run a contest in December down here on the North Jetty, and typically we have about 100 people. Last year we had 21 girls, which the first year, 4 years ago, we had about 3. So it is getting more popular amongst the girls. A lot of the boards they're making are more conducive for the girls. They're easier for them to skim, and the colors and things of that sort to cater more to the girls, yes.
When you go out to the beach, there's just so many boys, like teenage boys, that are skimming everywhere, and it's scary for girls when you go out and they're so much better than you are. And so like all the time I see little girls that have like, you know, like plywood boards that are like so slippery that if one of us tried it, we would just like slide it off. But they're just trying because, you know, they don't have like inhibitions. They're just trying with their family and stuff. and like I always try to encourage them and like help them out.
How long have you been skimboarding?
First year.
First year? What kind of skimboard do you have?
Soul skim.
Can I see it? Awesome. Where'd you get it?
The compound.
Why do you like skimboarding?
Because I wish I could surf, so this is like the closest thing.
Yeah. So you're like the only girl we've seen out here. What's the deal with that?
I guess a lot of girls are afraid to get hurt.
There are more and more girls, I think, every year. There are probably about 8 that I can think of who are really good that probably skim just as, you know, good as a guy in terms of like power. There's a lot of girls who skim who don't have a lot of power when they get to the wave, but there's a handful of girls who are hitting sprays just as hard as most of the guys at contests.
What do skimboarders do besides skimboarding?
Skimboarding.
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 It's called skimboarding, damn it!